Yeah, come and take a look at the snow. Bright white as far as your eyesight goes. Come and take a look at the fields of snow. I'll just get my coat, then we're good to go. Come and take a look at the lake. Let's have a quick skate before it gets late. Come and take a look at the frozen lake. Put your clothes on, mate, don't make that mistake.
Greetings, holiday shoppers. There are now only 233 shopping days left until Christmas, and I think you know what that means. It's time for another episode of Christmas Creeps Stocking Stuffer Edition, Anime Edition. Welcome. I'm your host, Bradford. Here with me tonight is my good friend, Joe. How are you doing, Joe?
I'm doing just fine. Anime is one of the few institutions we have left that is reliable in this country. And as much as it pains me to say this, I'm here to keep the flame burning.
It is indeed the month of May on an odd-numbered year. So once again, we gather around to celebrate this joyous occasion.
The least hallowed of opportunity.
I've noticed, I mean, we're not the first people to come up with the pun anime, but I realized that I've seen people, it seems like more people are posting about it.
Right, like I think like way back when we first had the idea, it was just a dumb idea, but now that literally everything is a hashtag, it's a thing now.
It is a thing now.
Much like May the 4th, if you will.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry,
I got through that relatively unscathed until I was browsing Blue Sky and I realized like there were 400 Wario 64 posts and they were all Star Wars shit that was on sale, and I'm like, oh right, that's today.
Yep. We won't talk about that. That's not the point of this podcast tonight.
No, it's not. We're here to talk about some lovely cartoons from a place that is not the United States. And they're cartoons from I don't know about you if you know about this, Joseph. They're cartoons from Japan. As wacky as that sounds.
No, I know Japan has their own programming. I was just on Japanese Disney Plus the other day, so I've seen it. Did not know they made their own cartoons.
Japanese Disney Plus?
No,
you just VPN'd into Disney Plus?
Exactly. I VPN'd into Disney Plus from Japan because there was a movie I was looking for, and it was only streaming. The only site that had it in the entire world was Japan's Disney Plus.
What? Well, you got to say the movie now, right?
It's the first 20 million is always the hardest, which is a movie that nobody should ever watch for any reason.
Weird. Based on the title, I'm assuming it's not a Japanese movie.
It is not. No.
Very strange.
It's a 2002 comedy about Silicon Valley.
Okay.
About the dot-com bubble burst, like the least essential kind of comedy you could ever imagine.
Not what you would say is essential viewing. Not worth getting out, dusting off your VPN.
No.
And dialing in. Okay.
No.
Good to know.
If you're interested, I did do a full write-up on my other blog. I'll post the link in the show notes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
very interesting. Before we do anything else, I think we do need one order of business that we always get to, and we're gonna flip the script a little bit tonight. And we don't have a can check, and we don't have a bottle check. Maybe you have a bottle check. This is a glass check.
Oh yes.
Ting ting, glass check.
Clink
actually,
clink.
here.
Nice.
Glass check. Because tonight we are watching the second season of Lupin the Third. The episode is called, the English localized title is The Sleight Before Christmas. I believe the Japanese title is A Gift for the President. And this episode revolves around wine. So Joe and I share several of the same brain cells, and we both independently came up with the idea to drink wine for tonight's episode rather than our usual brewskis. Now, here's the real question.
Okay.
Did you get really cheap wine?
Of course I did, sir.
Okay, I'm so glad. Yeah.
The cheapest box of wine I could find at my local grocer. Yes.
Sutter Home.
No, this is a Boda box.
Of course it is.
Hang on. But first thing, glass check. No, this is a beer stein. Let's crack this.
You're not
open
even
real
drinking
quick.
it out of a wine glass?
No.
Okay.
Wine glasses are for glass bottle wine. Paper box
okay.
wine is just
Well,
BYOG.
Dixie cup.
Yes.
The coffee cup that you had sitting on your desk from the last time you were at your desk.
It's the red Solo cup of wines, okay? Give me a break.
Yeah.
Let's crack this bad boy open, let it breathe for a moment.
Yeah, because you gotta let the Boda box breathe.
Right.
What style of wine are you rocking here?
I've got a Pinot Grigio.
Okay.
Just I prefer white wine to red wine. That's just me.
Yes.
So let's just go ahead and pour a little bit out. Bradford, what are you working with tonight?
Well, there's nothing cheaper than free, is there?
No, absolutely not.
This might be a little dire too. I have a bottle of Chilean Cabernet Sauvignon that I cook with, and it was already open. I'm like, I don't want to open a whole another bottle of wine for this bit. So guess who poured himself a little splash of the bottle of that's been sitting on my kitchen counter for God knows how long.
Wait, you're drinking the wine that you cook with?
It's fine. It is meant for drinking.
Okay.
The backstory of this wine is my family went on a cruise without me last October, and it was my mother-in-law's birthday. And at the last day of the cruise, they gave her a bottle of wine, compliments of the cruise for her birthday. And there was like a big to-do, and they were like, "Oh, can you look it up, Brad? How expensive is this wine?" It's like a $7 bottle of wine, but they brought it back, and I needed some red wine to cook with recently, so I opened it, and here we are today. It's let me okay. I've let it breathe for I've had it out for long enough. Let's take a sip. Votre Sante to your health, Joe. Here we go.
In vino veritas.
That is definitely a dry red wine that's probably sat out for a little too long. It's fine. It's wine and it's drinkable. It's here and it's wine. All right.
If you told me this was like cut with like 50% distilled water, I would not argue with you.
This is Boda box.
Yeah, this is very thin.
I've never had the pleasure of drinking a Boda box.
I'm
not a wine guy.
Not a wine guy either, but like I'm also not well versed in like which cheap wine is the best or worst.
It's I mean, Boda box always gave me the impression of like it's like the natty ice of wines, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a step above like the wino wines, like the giant 2 liters of Sutter Home or whatever.
Yeah, or like the thing that I always think is like the most low rent is like you go to the gas station and you see the individual glasses of like yellowtail wine.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. What is that?
When you just got to go down to the corner and get a little bit, wine drunk on a Monday night,
as one does.
As one does when talking about anime.
As one does when talking about anime.
It's important that we're drinking wine that is basically cheap as free, because this episode of anime is specifically about the most expensive bottle of wine in the world.
And also inadvertently about a really cheap bottle of wine.
That too.
All right. Well, I spoiled the joke at the end, but hey, it's
womp
fine.
Womp.
If you're not familiar with Lupin the Third, it was a manga series created by a guy named Monkey Punch, a very well regarded series about a rascally thief named Lupin and his crew. We got Goemon. He's a samurai type guy, and we got Jigen, who's a sharpshooter, and we have Fujiko Mine, who is sort of the love interest, sort of frenemy of Lupin.
The femme fatale, if you will.
Yeah, she hangs with them, but then like she also steals from them. So it's kind of got this dynamic going on. And then as far as rounding out, he's not part of the crew, but he's trying to get that Lupin. He'll get him eventually. There's Zenigata, who is the sort of international police who's always trying to track down and catch Lupin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you need to know about it, because it is highly episodic. Basically very little continuity from episode to episode, and boy howdy do we love that sort of thing here on this show.
It's the thing this show is built for. Yes.
So
now we've discussed an episode of Lupin the Third before.
Yes, we have,
many years ago,
when we had mistakenly believed that was the only Christmas episode of Lupin the Third. No, there was another one, and now we're doing this other one.
Yep.
Might I say, I think I like this one better.
It's certainly more memorable, I think.
Yes. The other one was like, there was like a doctor and a shark and all sorts of weird stuff going on. This is simpler, and I think more memorable as a result. So Lupin and the gang should we get into plot summary? Just real quick.
Go for it.
All
yeah.
Right. Lupin and the gang are hanging out. And they see on television that France is going to gift a bottle of wine, the last remaining bottle of wine that Napoleon had made for Josephine, to the President of the United States for Christmas as an act of goodwill between France and the United States. And everybody gets to talking, and they decide they're going to steal that bottle of wine because they want to try it. Mostly, Lupin wants to steal it to get into Fujiko's good graces, as one does.
As of course.
Right.
And who wouldn't want to try or steal or try the one of the most famous bottles of wine in the world? Really, it's like I want to try the honey they find in the Egyptian tombs. What does it taste like?
Because it's really old honey.
Well, it's edible. It's technically edible.
If it crystallized, you just got to heat it up a little bit first.
Yeah. So the plan is set like immediately, which I love.
They're just like, we're gonna go steal this thing. Then we smash cut to Paris, where Zenigata is trying to chew his way through a baguette, and it's a good little visual gag because he's eating it. He's like just raw dogging it, like trying to bite the end off of it.
Just kind of vacationing in France and just kind of hating it.
Yes, complaining about how he can't have a good old fashioned hamburger. And by the way, we should mention we watched the dub of this, and this is
yes. Okay, we can talk about this too.
I feel like Lupin's one of the series
because Brad and I are coming at this from very different directions.
Okay.
Should we just say it right now?
Why don't you share your thoughts with me on this dub?
Okay. So I know, like, traditionally anime fans just categorically hate dubs as a rule. And like it's almost like a cliche. Now I understand why the cliche exists, because the English dialogue in this is so, like, the voice performances are so, like, overdrawn, I guess is the word. They're too much by half.
It's overdone. It's like drama 102, right?
Right. So, but the voice, and like nothing against the actual voice actors who did the work on this show. Like, I know they were probably just being told, like, do it like this. But to my, like, untrained ears, it sounded like, so it's Lupin versus Zenigata, but to my untrained ears, it's just Mandark versus Johnny Carson, and I can't get that out of my head. The guy doing the voice for Zenigata is like doing such a perfect Johnny Carson impersonation.
I'm so glad that you said all this, because I actually was delighted by this dub. Of course. Okay. I've come around on dubs a little bit. For stuff like this, that's kind of like, it's not high art, right? It's kind of disposable entertainment.
And it's meant to be silly and goofy. I get that too.
It's meant to be silly and goofy, and it's like background viewing. There's absolutely a place for like just the goofiest ass dub possible, and that's what this is. Like, there's a bunch of really like late 90s, early 2000s localized jokes. There's the performances are so cornball. Like the dry delivery is, somebody cut this man off. It's like it's great. I love it. I actually really liked it because a bad dub can wrap itself around, and it's not like a room thing. I think they know what they were doing. Like, if you're gonna do a dub for a comedy series, you have to make it kind of almost have to make it kind of bad, right?
You have to go broad, yeah, of course.
You have to go broad, and you have to go cornball, and like, yeah, this isn't you know, a G Kids released Academy nominated film here. Come on.
Yeah, like this isn't Disney taking over and hiring real actors.
Right.
I understand that. And these are real actors. They're just voice actors being paid to do a job.
Yes.
But also, like, using this one episode as like a reference, like, I don't know if I could watch 300 episodes of this.
I absolutely could. Like, I don't know.
Like, I would probably much rather, I don't know,
watch the subtitled version.
Probably. And so I guess all I'm saying is, like, I see you, anime kids, and I get it now. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
But at the same time, let me back up a little bit. You were talking about like the late 90s ass like localization, because like this came out in the late 70s, and it was localized at some point, and it broadcast on American TV in like the late 90s or early 2000s, right?
Yeah, I think the dub came out in 2002.
So
let's see.
So all I'm getting at is, like, for the show from the 70s, and it's broadcast in the early 2000s, the American president is like an amazingly brief Bill Clinton impression, and I am here for it.
It's so good. Oh, let's see. Let's crack
that bad boy open.
This is the Red Jacket series, episode 12. It originally aired in Japan December 19th in 1977.
Okay, that's what I figured.
And it aired in the U.S. January 30th, 2003.
Wow. Okay.
Quite the gap there.
It's like deep in the Bush era, but I guess it's a very distinct Bill Clinton impression.
They decided to go Clinton rather than Bush on this one.
Right.
It's a choice. I think it paid off. I think it's the right choice.
It's a more recognizable caricature.
Absolutely.
Even today, like, I could not tell you what W is supposed to sound like as a joke, but like that's leaning into like political humor, and let's just not go there right now.
Yeah.
But like, I'm
say,
always
like,
here.
If somebody does a W impression in 2025, it's just kind of comes off as like generically Southern, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So like, it's not one of the more distinctive presidential voices, I might say.
No,
I would argue that if you cast your mind back to the time that we've been living, it's he probably has one of the lesser memorable voices. I would argue.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyways, enough about that.
But the point being, like, the little snippets you get, you know, they're cracking open the bottle of wine at the end. We'll get back to this. But then someone just says, like, this is exciting, isn't it? And all you hear is just a fake Bill Clinton go, "Yes, it is," and you know exactly who that is. It's great.
It holds up. 22 years later, it holds up.
Yep. Real ones know. Anyway, let's get back to it.
Real ones do know. Anime in the Clinton years. All right. Where were we? So they decide to steal this thing. Zenigata's in Paris. He gets a letter from Lupin saying, "Hey, yo, I'm going to steal this bottle of wine." And it's, guess what? That was the plan, because they follow Zenigata to a chateau in the wine region of France, one of the many wine regions in France that I don't know the name of.
It's Bordeaux.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Okay.
And
I didn't take notes or anything.
What a nerd. I didn't take notes. This is 22 minutes long. All right. And we're already at 22 minutes of our recording. Well, let's speed it up a little bit.
Love it. Got it.
Zenigata leads them to this chateau, but guess what? he was on to Lupin this entire time. And the gendarmerie try to catch Lupin and friends, but they cut open all the bottles of the barrels of wine that they used to sneak into the chateau, and all of the policemen get drunk. And so do Lupin and friends. And there's a very funny, I'm sure it was very funny in 1977, a drunk driving gag.
Oh, yeah.
Don't drink and drive, folks.
I also clocked, Lupin's talking about the winery and how why, like, the darkness of it all. He's like, the coolness in the dark allow it to age without spoiling. And someone just goes, oh, this must be where Dick Clark lives. Okay.
Speaking of jokes that probably didn't age as well. Anyhow. So having failed that attempt, they go to the airport and stake out there and come up with another plan. The bottle is being carried by Zenigata on the Concorde jet.
Yes.
Blast from the past. Remember that?
That's a cool visual image. I forgot about the Concorde for a second.
Yes. And Lupin and friends, save for Goemon, all get on the flight using disguises.
Mm-hmm.
And they gas the plane with sleeping gas, put everybody to sleep while they're wearing gas masks, fly the plane, I guess, over New York into the desert, into the American Southwest, and where Goemon is waiting with a semi, and they land the Concorde on a highway in the desert, and use the semi to steal the mystery crate full of items that France was sending over, as well as the bottle of wine. And Lupin does one last little sleight of hand where he replaces the fancy sought-after bottle of wine with a cheap bottle from, like, the corner store that he put a fake label on.
And I love the little letter he leaves for Zenigata is great.
Yeah, he's
in recognition of your efforts, here's some cheap crap.
Yes. But Zenigata is the only one who knows this, and he decides to just take it to the president anyways and pass it off. And as you would expect...
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I mean, his job's on the line. Like, yeah, just roll with it.
Yeah, you just hope for the best and hope nobody notices. And they televise this moment where they're cracking open the bottle of wine in the White House. And guess what? It's a resounding success. It's why you do a much better Clinton than me. Can you say it's France in a glass in a Clinton voice?
It tastes like France in a glass.
There. Thank you. That was spot on. It was like I was in the room. It was like he was in the room with us, man. I need to finish the rest of this. Hold on.
We're so close. Oh, the wine.
And everybody's none the wiser, and they all love it. And then Lupin and his crew crack open the real bottle of wine, and they, of course, all spit it out because it's 200 years old and it's spoiled and tastes like vinegar.
Of course.
The end.
Which I almost want to say is like a lesson in, like, no, don't drink wine, kids. It's gross.
Yeah, it's also just a general commentary. What's the rule of thumb? It's like unless you're a true connoisseur of wine, beyond like $20, there's really no different. Like, you can't tell the difference.
Right. Like, at some point, I would rather just have like a cheap $5 bottle of sipping wine than some fancy, Chateau blend, whatever. Yeah,
Oh, what was that? What was the? What? There was some skit. I don't remember who did it. It was like the second cheapest bottle of wine. You never seen that?
No.
It's like it's supposed to be an ad, and it's like it's two people at a date in a restaurant, and it's like the second cheapest bottle of wine. Because you don't want to buy the cheapest one and look cheap, but you want to buy cheap wine.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
I Googled it, and the first thing that came up was a Wall Street Journal headline that says, should you really order the second cheapest wine? So this must be a real thing.
Yes, you should.
Okay.
$2 Chuck is a resounding success for a reason, although I'm sure it's not $2 anymore.
I think it's $3 or $4 now, and there might be a cheaper one underneath that. So, hey, you know what? Buy some $3 Chuck. I don't know.
There's one under $3, so there's still a $2 Chuck.
No, I'm just saying, like, I assume that $2 Chuck I know it's gotten more expensive. I know that for a fact. But now I'm just saying,
like $6 now.
whatever it is, I'm sure somebody has swooped in underneath that and said, like, you know what? We're going to be the cheap wine now. So now you can buy Chuck, guilt-free. That's all I'm saying.
$2 Chuck is indeed the second cheapest bottle of wine now.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is that's Lupin the Third.
Well, there's one last turn that happens in this episode, which officially makes it a Christmas episode.
Oh, that's right. And they start playing Christmas music for this. So
yeah.
You want to take this one? Or?
Yeah, because so there's they're spitting out the wine, and then they see a news report about the theft of all the other cargo on the Concorde, which, as it turns out, was lots of dolls and toys for poor children that were going to be delivered to poor children on Christmas. So Lupin and his gang board a helicopter and start dumping them all over the city. Merry Christmas, the end.
They start throwing little dolls with parachutes on them.
Yep.
Out of the helicopter, which is it's a nice little end cap on it. It makes it actually kind of Christmassy.
Just to prove, once and for all that, they're thieves, but they're also thieves with hearts of gold.
Hearts of gold. There we go. Yes. I don't know about you, but I enjoyed this a lot. I would definitely put this in a playlist of Christmas TV specials.
I definitely would too. Yeah. Like it's not one that I think would command anyone's attention, but it would be definitely fun, like background viewing,
Yeah, for sure. I think it gets the stalker, stuffing stalker seal of approval.
I tell you, this wine's starting to hit me, and there's not even that much of it. This Boda box, by the way, it says on here one box equals 3 glasses of wine. So
did you pour that entire thing into your glass?
Oh, you bet I did. And I'm halfway there, buddy.
Those are the ones that come in like the Santa pack things that like coconut water come in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm placing it. That's right.
I mean, I took a picture. I'll put it in the group chat just so you can see it.
Thank you. I think that about wraps it up, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
In a nice little bow. Look at you, classy gentleman,
I'm
with your
such a heathen.
I love it.
A red oak beer stein and a box of wine.
Just living your best life.
I am 30 or 40 years old, and I do not need this.
30 and or 40 years old. Got. Yeah.
That's Lupin the Third. I enjoyed this one. The voice acting aside, which I thought was just yeesh Rooney, kind of rough. But since we watched that first one like 5 or 6 years ago, I have gone back. I've watched a couple of the movies, and I do enjoy them. You've made me a little bit of a Lupin fan, so I need to go back and watch some more of this.
They're a fun time.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
I thought I would ease you in. It's been a while.
It's been a long while, but I'm glad we did this. This has been a good time. Now, coming up on anime, we definitely have our work cut out for us, don't we?
We do. Do we want to go ahead and call our shots?
I think so, because we really don't have any backup plans. Like, this is definitely what we're doing.
Okay.
So go for it.
So first up on the docket, we have Gundam War in the Pocket, which is a 6 episode OVA, which will basically be the length of a feature film.
Right. Right.
I think it'll be a full-fledged episode. I don't think we want to treat it like a stuffer.
No, and if I know our guest at all, he'll make it a full episode by hook or by crook.
Gonna be like a 2-hour episode, probably.
Yeah, so just get yourselves ready for that, people.
Yes. And then after that, we have the Spy Family movie, which was brought to my attention, is a Christmas movie, which I have not seen. I've actually been holding off on seeing it for this year, for this event.
Yeah, I remember that came out last Christmas, and we were talking about it even then.
I really wanted to go see it in theaters, but an opportunity did not present itself. So here I am.
Here we are. That's what anime was built for.
It's what it was made for. Blessed, hallowed be its name. It's finally here.
Amen for anime. Yes, indeed. Oh, well, Brad, thank you so much for kicking this off for us. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
all mine, my friend.
Excellent. Should I just go ahead and start closing the show?
Yeah, do your thing, buddy.
All right. Alrighty. Well, if you've enjoyed this episode, please stick around for the next episodes in Anime 2025. And if you want to see anything else from Christmas Creeps, just go to christmascreeps.com. That's where all of our episodes are, and links to all of our social media accounts. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Facebook and Instagram. We're on YouTube, and you can also join our Discord channel where the real conversations happen.
Where the real pictures of a Boda box next to a beer stein happen. That's
right, friends. Nothing but the best here on Christmas Creeps. And also, if you want to email us anything at all, you can send those to xmascreeps@gmail.com. I think that about wraps it up. Bradford, any final thoughts?
It's finally here. I'm so glad.
It's finally happening.
It's finally happening for the third time ever.
You know, most people celebrate like the beginning of like summer in May or school letting out in May, but no, on this show we talk about anime at Christmas time. So
in this house, we talk about anime. Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.
Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas.